All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on the valley of the dry bones, right? And the reason why I'm doing this lesson is because, like, you've got a lot of grimy Christians out there, man, right? And I saw this Christian, so I don't even want to call him no teacher, man, a false prophet teacher, man. In Birmingham, I saw one, right, on a video on the internet, right? And he read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, right? He read Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. And when he got to verse 11, right, which I'm going to read right now. This is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 11. Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts. Now, when this false pastor, man, when he read this scripture, right, he actually had the nerve when he got to where it says Israel. He said this, and I'm not joking. And if anyone wants me to prove it and show the video that I'm talking about, I'll send them a link to the video if they want to see, man. Right? When he got to Ezekiel 37 chapter, where instead of saying Israel, where it says Israel, he said Birmingham, Europe. So he said these bones are the whole of Birmingham, Europe. And I'm thinking, this geezer's a clown. How are you going to lie and change and put in Birmingham and Europe in place of Israel when the Bible mentions Israel several times? But if I search the word, you know what? Let me search it, man. He actually had the nerve. I couldn't believe when he did that, man. Let's see if Birmingham's in the Bible. Obviously, it's not. Obviously not. Right? Obviously, it's not written in there, man. Let's see if Europe's mentioned in there. Let's see if the word Europe's mentioned in there. Because he actually had the nerve to replace Israel with Birmingham and Europe. And then people wonder why it's only dead people within the church, man. And I'm saying that even though there's some of my family that are in that den of thieves, man. And that dead coffin, man, of the Christian church. Anyone that's in that Christian church, man, is a clown, man. If you still believe that they're teaching the truth according to the Bible, you're a clown, right? Because you can clearly read when you go to that scripture that it says Israel. The scripture that is mentioned in here, the Valley of Dry Bones, is mentioning the Israelites. The whole of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, is speaking about how the Israelites have been cast away from their heritage, right? And through the word of Yahweh being preached to them, they're going to be formed back as a complete nation. And they're going to be taken from where they are among the heathen and gathered into their own land. Let me prove it a bit more. Let me go into some more scriptures, man. This is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and I will gather them on every side, and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and that's going to be King David. And they shall be no more two nations, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore, and Yahweh Shai is going to be the king over King David. Verse 23. Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with their transgressions, but I will save them out of all their dwelling places, wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them, so that they shall be my people, and I will be their God. So where's that talking about heathen nations, man? Like, look, these Christians, what they've did, man, and it's so dumb. Like, they complain about us saying that the Gentiles are Israelites, but they will literally take a part in the Bible that says Israel, and they'll make it be for everyone. So when they read in Hebrews, the 8th chapter and the 10th verse, and it says that the new covenant is for the Israel, they'll say that that's talking about a spiritual Israel, even though it clearly says that it's going to be a covenant that's not like the covenant that was made with their fathers in Egypt, and everyone's forefathers was not taken out of Egypt. And if anyone says that that's the case, then they're a liar, and they're a straight up demon. Right? I ain't got no nice, kind, soft-hearted words for people that are prepared to lie about the Bible. If those people, man. Anyone that's prepared to lie about the Bible is a straight-up demon, man. And that guy that lied and didn't say Israel where it said Israel is a straight-up demon, man. And the Most High, he's going to destroy such a person as that, man. Because he clearly lied. He didn't care about lying about something that you can clearly see says one thing, but he's prepared to say, nah, it says something else. And he actually had the nerve to say Birmingham, Europe. You know what I mean? But he would have never had the balls to say black people living. He would have never even had the balls to say that. He wouldn't have even had the bottle on him to say that, man. And that's why these Christians are just some straight up clowns, man. And no one's rocking with the Christian church like that. Everyone knows that they're full of shit, man. And I've just got to say it that way. These Christians are full of shit, right? I'm saying it, man. They're full of it, man. Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 11. Then said he unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. So where's it getting? Where's it getting heathens into that? Like, I don't get it. This whole scripture, this whole chapter is going into how the Israelites are going to be built up again, man, through the word of Yahweh being preached to them. And that's what people are seeing in the world right now, but they're ignoring it. And they're trying to make it like it's though something extreme, some kind of extremist stuff, man. But it's actually Ezekiel 37 being fulfilled, where the word of the Lord is making men that once believed that there was black, that once believed that there was Latino, that once believed that there was Native American, that once believed that there was African American, that once believed that there was black British, change from all of that and follow after God's laws when previously they were sinning and ignorant to the fact that they were sinning and didn't care about anything to do with the Bible, a lot of them. Or they kind of believed in the Bible briefly and said, oh yeah, I believe in the Lord. I believe in the Lord. But then when you watch them, you'd see that they're being a demon. But now they've stopped on that being wickedness. And now they're trying to be right. Whereas Christians are bold to lie, man. They've got a whole lot of bottle to lie, but they ain't got no courage to tell the truth. Isn't that something? They'll have all the courage in the world to lie. They'll have all the courage in the world to get that right angle, to smack a tambourine off their hip so that it makes that right sound. But when it comes to saying something righteous and to just reading the Bible verse verbatim as it's written on the paper or as it's written on the app or as it's written on the tablet, as it is written, they don't want to do that. And this guy actually had the nerve to say that Ezekiel 37 was talking about Birmingham and Europe. What are you talking about? And like I said, man, if people think I'm lying, I'll find a video. Right? I'll find a video, man. If anyone's saying, nah, I don't believe no one could possibly ever say something like that, well, I'll prove it. If somebody wants me to show it. Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 11 again. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. So the word got preached into these dry bones and they started getting built back up again and flesh and their sinews returned, right? They started looking like something again. And that's talking about the Israelites, which is why when people see Hebrew Israelites preaching or they see Hebrew Israelite videos, they get hurt, man. It hurts their feelings, man, because they can't handle that we're believing that we're something again. They say our bones are dried and our hope is lost. We are cut off for our parts, and people that are going to prepare to lie about what's written in the Bible are really people that don't really care about the Lord, man. If you're an Israelite, which this guy was, if you're an Israelite and you're prepared to lie and say that Ezekiel 37 is mentioning any other nation, then you're a clown, man. Like I said, now let me carry on reading. This is Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 24. And David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall have one shepherd. They shall walk in my judgments and observe my statutes and do them. So this is talking about the Israelites. Verse 25. And they shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. And they shall dwell therein, even they and their children, and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be prince forever. So what are these people talking about, man? Verse 26. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. That's talking about the covenant from Jeremiah, the 31st chapter, or Hebrews, the 8th chapter. Moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. And I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. It don't mention all of a nation. So this guy trying to say, I couldn't believe it when he said that, man. I thought, let me see this video. I thought, let me watch this, right? See what this guy is talking about. And I knew that he was going to be coming with some madness, right? But for him to replace Birmingham and Europe instead of saying Israel, you're a clown. And if I was to ever see him in real life, I'd tell him it to his face too, man. And not in no carnal way. In a righteous way, man. Like, anyone that's lying about what's written in the Bible, he's a demon, man. I couldn't believe that this guy said that. You're prepared to just cast away the truth and lie to appease the people that are standing in front of you. But what about appeasing God by telling the truth? And these people don't consider that they're doing evil when they do such things, man. This is Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto man. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And he clearly would have read that scripture and he would have saw that it says Israel. But he said Europe and he said Birmingham. And screamed it too. But they're fake ass replacement theology, man, and that fake ass supersessionism, which is basically anywhere that it says Israel, we're going to say that he's talking about heathens. That's all that is. That ain't deep. You can put fancy words on it. Oh, supersessionism, replacement. That sounds good, but really, it's just simply you're trying to say that anywhere it says Israel is really talking about heathens, and that ain't true. So no matter how much you want to say it, that don't make it true, man. Now let me read the last bit of Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel 37 and verse 27. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Now listen to this last bit. Here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Verse 28. And the heathen shall know that I, Yahweh, do sanctify Israel, when my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. So yeah, the Israelites are going to be surrounded by heathens, but they're going to be different. They're going to be sanctified, and the heathens are not going to be sanctified, man. So what are these people talking about? Like, to try and slap a heathen in any place that says Israel is ridiculous, man. But they do it, and they ain't got no fear to do these things. And then the thing that makes it worse is that it's Israelites doing it. It's Israelites actually trying to replace themselves with heathens. They're trying to kick their own self out of the covenant to try and give it unto a heathen nation when they can't even guarantee that they're part of the elect. But I'm going to end the lesson there anyway. The valley of dry bones are Israelites and nobody else. And Ezekiel the 37th chapter, he's talking about the rebuilding of the Israelites from a dead state, right? Then showing how they was going to preach in the midst of wherever they were. And then also showing that they was going to be gathered from all the heathen that they were scattered around and be brought back up. And that at the end of all of that being taken place, that King David was also going to return and be king over them. And this has not happened yet. This is a future prophecy that is waiting to happen. Shalom to the nation of Israel. All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Makar Kodash.